Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS and Borsog Trader. If you're new, welcome, and welcome back KS family and the Borsog clan. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin currently up 0.92% to 21,800. Ethereum up 0.57% to 1233. What we're going to do is a quick run through of the crypto market. It's really important to get a feeling of how different cryptos are moving on a daily basis. Over time, you'll get an idea of what sectors and what cryptos are moving in alignment with how Bitcoin is changing. When it comes to doing your Borsog trades, which are in and out trades, they're not hodling, they're not dollar cost averaging, they're in and out. You actually look at the crypto market and you can see different opportunities. Borsog is the idea from Rule 621, buy on red, sell on green. It puts you on the right side of the percentage. Borsog is about starting small, just like literally with coffee money, and getting into the synchronization and the flows and ebbs of the crypto market. It takes skill and experience to Borsog correctly, so go slow to go fast and learn from every trade. Like everything in life, you always have to put in the hard work. It's not like a lottery. You don't just pick one out. You have to analyze it as well. If you haven't subscribed to the Borsog Trader YouTube channel, please go and have a look at it. It has real trades in there. I think they'll be very beneficial to you. From my 30 plus years in financial market, I explain the smart money mindset to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, gaining real wealth in the process. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. Please consider sharing and liking this video, and also subscribing to the channel. We would love to have you as a part of our globally extended KS family. Thank you for tuning in. I very much appreciate us sharing this time together. Looking through the crypto market like this can be a real game changer. And knowing what sectors are changing in what order and what way is just fantastic. We know that Bitcoin's gravity impacts every single alt, but specific alts over and under exaggerate Bitcoin's price momentum. When looking at any specific alt, please always do your own research. I never endorse any specific crypto. And you can see there's so many sectors. This is the real estate sector of the crypto universe. And we can see here the trading and investment sector. And how about this? This is artificial intelligence. What about insurance? We have cryptos for that as well. We sure do. And how about education? Well, we need an IQ for education. Of course, different sectors have different weightings, and the blockchain infrastructure is one of the largest. But one thing to do is to always keep your eye on what Bitcoin is doing, because we know no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. Also, keep your eyes on the stablecoins. These stablecoins are to transfer money in and out of, just basically like a fiat to crypto gateway. If you're making a lot of money from your stablecoins, I would get out of that stablecoin. Why is that? Because stablecoins are supposed to stay stable. Basically, for example, when we see USDT about $1, USDC about $1, BUSD about $1, that's what they're supposed to do. So getting a view on how the sectors are moving is really, really valuable, and you can refer back to this at any time in the future. I'd also like to let you know that, as promised, I released the Coffee Club video. This is Coffee Club video number 12. This is for the very kind and generous people who've reached out and bought me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/CryptoTradingKS. This is all about Rule 109, Enhanced Pattern Recognition. There's a few new tricks and tips in there that will help you. And I'd like to thank the very kind and generous community members for saying thank you. And cheers to Dan and to Jay. Very nice. And thank you, Bluebird. And to someone who remained anonymous, thank you very much. And to David and to Jade. I appreciate all of you. And I just like to say, it's just so wonderful to be able to share this kind of information with you. I'd like to also thank everybody that commented on yesterday's video. It's just beautiful. We have such an incredible global community, a global family. And Bluebird Cafe said, you cannot have a positive life with a negative attitude. The mind always proves itself correct. The mind is very, very powerful. This is really important. When it comes to trading and investing, your mind is your greatest friend or greatest enemy. And if it's an enemy, it will force you into losses through self-doubt and self-sabotage. That's why we spend a lot of time on the psychological aspects of trading and investing. And we know all investors become traders anytime they buy or sell. Hi Gianluca, and thank you for your very nice comment. Positive mindset sparks desire, which leads to action defeating fear. This is really important. It's very, very easy to be fearful to enter a trade or investment. And we know all investors become traders. So the concept is you have to defeat fear. You have to lead a fearless life. And that can be done. I think that trading and investing is one of the best sources of personal development and personal growth. And it actually turns people into gladiators. And people love that particular term that I used yesterday. And it's true, you are. You're here. You're so strong. And my hat is off to you. I'm virtually taking my hat off to you right now. And as Barnes said, a positive mindset is paramount, not only for dealing with the markets, but for dealing with life as well. Life is always throwing curveballs at us. Having a positive mental mindset is really, really important. No matter what happens, you know the sun will come out again. And a lot of beloved community members are dealing with life pullbacks at the moment. That's just a set up for the next life rally that you're going to go through. Just keep positive, my friends. I'll start things off a little differently. When we look at precious metals, have a look at the inverse VIX. The inverse VIX is, you could say, the optimism returning to the market. And have a look at palladium. Palladium is partying, and we can see silver starting to turn around, gold starting to turn around. Go metals, go! It's really good idea to keep your eyes on the metals, and I share this live chart inside the masterclass in TR23. And we can also see the transportation indexes just coming up just now. That's really good to see. And it's also really interesting to look at inflation and the drivers of inflation. We can see the CPI has not been recorded in a few months, but it's making a beeline for the roof. The annual inflation rate reached 8.6% on the last reading. It's really interesting to notice we've got new data on the Fed balance sheet. It's down to 8.892 trillion. It was previously up higher. So that's actually interesting. And we haven't had updated values on the M1 and M2. This is just money circulating within the economic system. What we do notice is the 10-year and 5-year break-even inflation rates have fallen literally off a cliff. And what are we seeing? A little bit of a rebound at the moment. And this will actually happen because as the NASDAQ rallies up and pulls Bitcoin, it will pull inflation up with it. But the Fed is hoping that their reduction in asset purchases and their support of the financial system, taking that out, will suppress price a little. But we wait and see. Anyway, it doesn't really matter to us as Borsoggers because we're in and out of the market all the time. So what is Borsogging? It's buying on red and selling on green. And currently we have a lot of different videos in here, and I just recently released when a trade goes wrong. That wrong trade. Pesky trades. They do sometimes do that, so we have to be aware of what to do. But actually, when you pop in here, you'll see all these different videos, and these are very, very recent trades, and they show you how you can make money in any economic condition. Bull market, bear market, it doesn't matter. It's not important. It's a Borsog market, and that's what we're trading right now. When we look across the economic systems throughout the world, the US markets are the dominant players. They attract basically 60 cents out of every dollar that goes into stock markets globally. That's a lot of money. Of course, that throws a big gravitational pull on all of the other stock markets. And we can see recently the NASDAQ coming down, and it basically was forcing other markets to come down. And we nearly got a breakout of several different markets. The UK, Australia, and China is starting to rebound. The UK nearly had a breakout here, but the downward momentum in the NASDAQ and the S&P 500, the Dow and the Russell, forced global markets down. This is why you must pay attention to what the US markets are doing. And we look at the NASDAQ as a proxy for the general market because it's the tech index. And that's mostly correlated with Bitcoin, which is this yellow line. And what we see, if actually the NASDAQ does a rebound to its previous resistance line, there's going to be one heck of a rally in Bitcoin and throughout the world as well. If it can get over this resistance and resume up, it's on for everyone. But we must maintain a cautious outlook because the markets are under negative pressure. That's why I've released Borsog as a way for you to make money no matter what the markets are doing. You can make a lot of money in downtrending markets. And Masterclass students, you'll get my live chart and a full explanation of this in LV19. I know I discuss a lot in the public channel, but I discuss maybe potentially 100 times more inside the Masterclass. What do we see in the major market? Now that we've got all of that other context, we can see the fear was leaving the main market through the VIX. And Masterclass students, you get my live chart here in TM6. As fear left the market, what did prices do? Prices came up. This is really, really positive. And remember what target we're aiming for. We want to hit this particular target. This one right here, up here. So there's a lot of space to go between the current NASDAQ price and that resistance line. Go NASDAQ! Of course, we don't get carried away. We always think about our three-dimensional decision-making process. What will we do if things go our way? Yes, that can be a problem. Where do you get out? Where do you get in? How do you manage things? And this is not just for a trade. This is for your entire portfolio. As we enter Episode 585, I've said this countless times before. You must know what you will going to do if price goes for you, goes against you, or goes nowhere and seems to get really boring. On these times, boring times, things are getting ready for a big move, either to the upside or to the downside. So when you see all the memes floating around social media, Bitcoin do something, Bitcoin do something, people poking it with a stick, no, a big move is coming either to the up or to the downside. So what else do we see here? What other confirming actions do we see? Well, we can see that bond prices have broken through their support and on the way down. Bond yields very, very close to breaking their resistance line, very close. We've not got a confirmation on either of these yet, but it's looking quite good. Now, why is this a good thing? A lot of people say, well, when yields go up, that means that interest rates increase, and that means that there's negative pressure on cash flow because the discounted rate increases, therefore the free cash flow actually decreases and forward valuations drop. So why would this be positive? As traders, we're looking for consistently reliable signals as to what can happen with Bitcoin. And why do we look at Bitcoin? Why aren't we looking at something else? Because no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. And Bitcoin's price action, Bitcoin's fingerprint is in the blue here. Bonds and yields have been totally out of whack for at least since the start of the year. There's just been such a divergence on where they should be. They're starting to normalize now. And we can see gold. I pointed out yesterday that gold had fallen below some key support lines and it's been falling quite hard. Does this mean it won't come back up and recheck those lines, if not bypass them? We must always have our three-dimensional decision-making process. on at all times. What about the DXY, the US dollar currency index? We could see the DXY has had tremendous strength recently. What about oil prices? Oil prices are bouncing. What do sharp angles do? They reflect. As we talked about several times in the last couple of videos, when you see a sharp angle, expect a degree of reflection, and you can be on the wrong side of the trade but on the right side of the percentage and make a lot of money. And this is why Borsog is so powerful. We now have a better backdrop in which to analyze Bitcoin's price action. What are we actually seeing here? There's an undercurrent, a hidden line here, which has acted as resistance. And the masterclass students know how to draw these lines. And what have we seen? This particular line, I'm just going to make it bolder for you. What we can actually see, as price has come down, it's rallied back up, dropped, rallied back up. It's really trying to bypass this line. Rallied, back up, and now testing it again. When you get a very sharp angle, what do? You got it. They reflect. Because why do they reflect? The sharper the angle, the more the reflection. This is very important. This is a really sharp angle. This is a really sharp reflection. This is why we love to Borsog. We're actually getting in as everybody is leaving the dance floor. We say, wow, the best songs are playing now. I'm going to get on that dance floor. And what am I talking about? What is this dance floor you speak of, Ken? The dance floor is this one. You see, it's empty right now. And what has price done? Well, price was going up and everybody was really, really happy. They were packing the dance floor. But then as price came down, what do? They run. And they run really fast. But hang on a sec. What's going on here? What's this mischievous price doing? It's being bid up. How could it be bid up? There's no one there. Yeah, smart money is there. Smart money is always invisible. And we have to play on the side of smart money, not the side of retail. And they're very, very, very different. Retail has all these fierce emotions, and those fierce emotions drive them crazy. What happens is KS Zone analysis, just to explain when people come in and out of the dance floor. KS Zone analysis are the 4 stages that all investors and traders progress through to become consistently profitable and attain real wealth. When people are drawn into the market for the first time, they basically want a participation award. They say, I work so hard for my money. I put it into the market. I demand a return. I must have a return, and I must have 100% return and 0% loss. You see, all the scammers out there always talk about 0% loss. There's no risk at all. They'll take it all away so long as you give them your money, and they'll return 0% return, and it will be 100% loss. Beware of scammers. But what happens in here? People are hopeful. They believe in luck. They pray that price will go in their direction. But they're very impatient. They look at it as a fun, exciting game. Terrific. But what they actually find is when price goes down, what do? They scatter. And every single person who has survived inside financial markets has gone through zone 1. Everybody goes through it. I went through it as well. Then they go to zone 2. They blame. They get in conflict. They get jealous. Why? Because they're saying, well, other people are making it. Why can't I? So the concept of diamond hands is born in zone 1 and zone 2. Just hold on for dear life. HODL is a zone 1, zone 2 thing. And what happens when people get really nasty? They reach out through conflict and they attack other people. Why is this a problem? Because it actually destroys inner and outer peace. Why is that a problem? Because you need your inner peace to actually make money, and you need your outer peace to live a happy life and fulfilled life. What happens up here is that people just go through the experience. They get burnt. But there's some calling that exists in people who stay in the markets. They get burnt and they say, I don't care. I'm going to go through diamondization. You're going to become a diamond. You're going to become a gladiator. You're going to stay. Why? Because you're learning. So you move away from the emotional roller coaster into patience and rules, learning and courage. And this is where there are make money rules. We do our three-way decision making at all times. We have an understanding of what percentages mean and how they work. That's why Borsog is so important. Borsog, buy on red, sell on green. It's all about putting the percentage on your side, but you must know what you're doing. Patience. You have to let your trade, your investment, take the time it needs to get to your targets. Rules, the CTKS method for drawing up the charts. Understanding price is reality. Forget about all the promises. What is price doing? And you collect those probabilities. And there's so much more. But where you have a truly magnificent life is through positive excellence. And that's the keep money rule zone. This is all about mastering fear. And as a race, we're letting fear dominate us. I think it's time to kiss fear goodbye and say, fear, get out of my life. On the other side of fear, you find worthiness and meaning and happiness as well. Fear is a very, very destructive thing to have in your life. We go from diamond hands to a diamond mind to a diamond heart. One of the most powerful ways to start removing fear and anger is through gratitude. Gratitude is just such a powerful concept. Gratitude leads to kindness. Kindness is incredibly important, not for other people, but for you. It gives you a richness and a beautiful life. Being kind is actually much, much better than going around angry at everyone. Fear is an enormous driver of price. That's why we look at the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. We want to see how fearful the market is. The market is still incredibly fearful. The Crypto Fear and Greed Index is currently 20. We notice that it's up 2 from yesterday. It was 18 yesterday. And when we look back at the 20 level, especially being under the 20 level, what does that actually help us see? It helps us see when we're under the water here and we start to pop above it, we may end up going below it and then we may break above it. And this is what I would actually expect. What we see across the crypto market, there's a lot of resistance playing in around the current price. So the cryptos are hitting resistance right across the board. So what does that mean to us? Well, basically, resistance is like the roof. And if you think about price, it's hitting the roof at the moment. Price hit the roof and it's just trying to crunch it. It's trying to make it a floor. It's trying to get through to the next level. Of course, price lives in an apartment building. So you can see the roof just playing in through this particular level of resistance. And where's the floor below it? It's 21,231. And you can see price has already come back to the floor and said, get out of here, floor. I want to go through the roof. And it went through the roof and it went, oh, I can't hold. And it went down. But it's actually getting there. We can see that the overall trajectory here is relatively positive. But does that mean we're past it? It's all smooth sailing and everything is roses? No, we don't think that way. We always know the price is negatively biased and you can get these long tails and quick repairs. This is part and parcel of the crypto market. It's incredibly good that we've got over this 21,231 level. This is a very good support level and you can see price just came down, pinged it and went back up. It's trying to get through this level of resistance, and when it does, we target the one level above, 22,647. When it gets to there, there's not a lot of resistance between 22 and around 30,000, so it could really do very well. Now, what typically happens during these times, when people hear these things, they go all in and more. Never, ever go all in and more. Never. You always want to graduate your trading, that is, buy in levels of support on the way down. This requires a lot of patience. It requires getting to zone 3, because in zone 1 and zone 2, it's all manic. It's pretty much, I'm going to just buy anything. Oh, that looks like it's going up, I'm going to buy that. Oh, that looks like it's going down, I'm going to sell that. That's not what professionals do. Professionals are very, very cool in the market. They've run the numbers. They've marked up their charts. They know what they're doing. How do you learn how to be a professional? I put the CryptoTradingKS Masterclass together to basically transfer my knowledge, 30 plus years inside financial markets, to the students. The first thing to do is to mark up your chart with the CTKS method. Coming from a background of maths and stats, I'm very much focused on how exponential price action moves. And most people have enormous trouble when it comes to understanding exponential price action. They think, for example, that inside the crypto market, if Bitcoin was to increase by X dollars per day, that doesn't happen. Bitcoin is exponential. It obeys what's called the ICE process, and the ICE process is discussed within the masterclass. Basically, it's implosion, explosion, consolidation. Bitcoin and crypto is always exploding and then imploding, consolidating, exploding, imploding, consolidating. This is what crypto does. It's unlike any other market on the planet. And there's a whole lot of steps that you need to go through before you can buy and sell effectively. And when you actually get to the trigger section, it's like you're a master chef. You just combine all the methods that work for you. And everybody's methods will be different because everybody is different. I would just like to reach out because there's several members of our beloved global family going through tremendous life pullbacks at the moment. My heart and love goes out to you all. And also, our community's love and healing thoughts are with you. You're not alone. The sun will come out again, and there is always hope. These things do pass. A lot of people say to me, Ken, the NASDAQ doesn't influence Bitcoin. Have a look at that directional correlation. It's partying together. Also, just consider we're up to the weekend. A lot of people have been severely burnt by crypto. They would probably look at this price action at the moment and say, wow, I'm cashing out. I've got some gains. This is good. I expect, for example, they would say, I expect Bitcoin and crypto to just crash to zero. So therefore, I'm going to get out. This is going to drive that retail mindset. So be very, very cautious around these particular times. When we've confirmed either we're going up or going down, that is the time to lay in heavily. Don't worry about predicting moves. They'll come. Just have patience. That's why that zone 3 patience is incredibly important. Now, what are these shaded areas here, Ken? You say, well, these shaded areas represent the weekend, so we're going into Saturday globally. And what about this red line and this green line? Well, the red line is the number of margin shorts, so it's the shorts within Bitcoin. And you can see it's wobbling quite a bit recently. What's this green line here? That's the number of margin longs in Bitcoin, or the longs, Bitcoin longs. So what do we see here? That's kicked up. So let's check out liquidations and see who is liquidating who. When we look at total liquidations across the last 24 hours, 215.46 million of liquidations has occurred across 52,894 positions. And when we look at total liquidations across the past 24 hours, about 61% short. Over the past 24, what about the past 12? 52% short. Okay, that's interesting. Ooh, it's changed. Over the past 4 hours, about 64% long. What about the past hour? Ay caramba! 85% long. The longs are getting hit by the shorts. Oh, the longs and shorts do have fun together. But when we actually look from more a daily basis, what we actually see is in the past 24 hours, more shorts have been liquidated than longs. But that is starting to turn around now. There are always opportunities inside the crypto market. The only way to get rich is to do it slowly, put in the hard work, gain the knowledge, and apply it consistently. Start small with coffee money. And to all those people that said coffee in yesterday's episode, you are absolute legends. Wow. We need to get an understanding as to the direction of Bitcoin's bias so we can look at the options market. Now, what we can see here is a couple of days ago, the options market was expecting max pain around $20,000, and now it's popped up to $21,000, and tomorrow 21,500, where it was previously 20,000. But something interesting has happened. The end of month max pain previously was 25,000. Now it's dropped 1,000 to 24,000. What we can see here is the options market is basically pricing in the increase of Bitcoin's price. And the reason I do blue and yellow is to show you the difference, where it started, where it ended up, where it started, where it ended, where it started. This is what we see in max pain all the time. It just jumps around all over the place, basically to reflect current price. It's also really important to keep your eye on the gravitational pull of Bitcoin across your beloved alts. And when we look at Bitcoin, it's trying to get above this level of resistance, and we've talked extensively about that. What about Ethereum? How is Ethereum behaving relative to Bitcoin? You always want to keep this in your mind. You always want to think about, what is Bitcoin doing, and how does my beloved alt get hit or supported by Bitcoin? And when we look at Ethereum, it's stronger than Bitcoin. Binance Coin, BNB, stronger than Bitcoin, but you can see the same relative pattern playing out. XRP, weaker in terms of pattern. Look at these patterns. It's important to do your pattern recognition. Now, is this a problem with XRP? No, actually XRP and the Coffee Club members will know this. I explained what this all meant in the last Coffee Club video. If you're not a member of the Coffee Club video, I've put out 12 videos that give you an edge. You can find information in those videos that will be very, very helpful. And I always try to give something new that I've never ever discussed before. Let's have a look at ADA Cardano. ADA is just following Bitcoin's gravity, but you can see the divergence here. You can see ADA is much, much weaker than Bitcoin at the moment. What about Solana? Solana is showing a lot of strength. How about Doge? Doge was absolutely rocketing. It's just trying to digest those enormous gains. How about DOT? DOT is showing weakness relative to Bitcoin. What does this actually mean to us? Well, we know that the weak can become strong, and also that when we have a very, very risk-on environment, money can flow out of the alts into Bitcoin. So these are the things that you just want to bear in mind. Let's have a look at some more beloved alts. Tron is actually looking really interesting from this price if it manages to push forward, and we need to see what happens to Bitcoin. But the next level of resistance would be around 80.58. So that could be a very, very good trade. Of course, not financial advice, and always do your own research. SHIB has acted with incredible power, ferocity. It's a ferocious SHIB. Let's have a look at AVAX. AVAX is following Bitcoin's gravity, quite strong as well. Matic is very strong at the moment. A lot of people remember that cartoon, they get called in as prices go up. And what happens when price goes down? The dance floor clears. What happens then? Smart money is bidding the price up, and it calls back people. People always want to be certain the price is going up. Professionals want to be certain that they're on the right side of the percentage, not on the wrong side, the right side. Because being on the wrong side of the percentage means that you're buying up into resistance. Being on the right side of the percentage means that you're buying at levels of support. Let's have a look at Uni. Uni is behaving very, very strongly. Could be one to watch. Very interesting. Remember, rule 4, price is always moving in a wave. It doesn't go just straight up. It goes up and down, up and down, up and down. Always. Just keep that in mind. And Litecoin, showing it a bit of weakness here comparatively. What about FTT? Coming up to a really interesting perspective. A lot of resistance above, all the way up to 29.07. We need to see what happens here. Now, why do we look through so many alts? Why don't we just focus on one thing? Because I want to give you a bird's eye view of the market. It is a license to print money when you understand how to use it. And what about Chainlink? Chainlink is decaying back at the moment to a level of support. Let's see what happens here. Let's see if it holds it. Let's have a look at some more beloved alts. We can see Flow just obeying Bitcoin's gravitational pull, but just a little bit of weakness at the current time, just below that resistance. Remember, where is Bitcoin when it comes to that resistance? It's just marginally above it. And what do we see with Ape? Ape has a very, very strong fingerprint coming out here. It's moving in alignment with Bitcoin's gravity. If Bitcoin comes down, finds support, and then rallies back up, we have to be prepared for that. If Bitcoin rallies up, bypasses all those levels of sellers, we have to be prepared for that as well. And if it goes flat, we have to be prepared for that also. Typically, when people get onto the dance floor and it's really, really crowded, the herd mentality kicks in and everybody thinks in one direction. That direction is generally wrong. So you have to be counterintuitive in your thinking. Have a look at Sand. Sand absolutely partied. And this pattern is very representative of quite a few different cryptos. So keep your mind on that. Look at patterns cross crypto. It's very, very profitable to do so. And we can see Sand just pulling back at the moment. But it's moving in alignment with Bitcoin's gravity, but it's so much stronger. What about Hedra, Hashgraph, HBAR? What do we see from HBAR? It's weaker than Bitcoin's gravity at the moment. Tezos, what do we see with Tezos, XTZ? It's actually above Bitcoin's gravity, but only marginally. It's been following it relatively closely. ICP has always tended to exhibit weakness pre-sell-off. And what do we see here? ICP is partying. This is calling in retail investors and traders. Because, why do I say that? Because we're coming up to levels of resistance. The cost-benefit ratio is just not here for us at the moment. There's more a chance of this sharp angle reflecting than continuing. But it doesn't mean it can't continue. Look at this really, really sharp run up here. You can always make money in any crypto if you buy correctly. The profit is where you buy. That's a very unusual rule, but it's absolutely true. What about Theta? Theta has been really up and down, up and down, up and down, all over the place. And we can see it's about mid-range at the moment, but still obeying Bitcoin's gravitational pull, just under and over exaggerating the movements. What about Axie Infinity? We can see Axie starting to show a degree of power here, which is quite different than what we see in Sand and Ape. You always want to do this cross-crypto analysis, especially if you're borsogging. If you would like to get into the Borsog Trader Discord group, you can just reach out to myself, and you can always directly message me at any time on Twitter. The link is in the description of this video. We've had to do invite only, just as a precaution. There were so many scammers trying to get in and scam people, we closed the door on them. You can also reach out to the ambassadors, they can help you with the link. And Borsog Trader, buying on red, selling on green, is all about helping you better time market entries and exits. And one thing I do is I try to put forward content that helps people out. When things don't go right, how do you actually deal with it? And a lot of people have been asking me about that, so I'm doing more and more content on that as well. The good thing to know is there's always opportunities. There are always opportunities in the crypto market. You just have to be open to them. When you believe it, you will see it, and not before. Steve, thank you for your very good quote from Henry Ford. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, either way you're right. And that is just pure gold. And Henry actually borrowed that from somebody else, but the concept is absolutely brilliant. Your mind always proves yourself correct. There are so many brilliant comments from our beloved community, our beloved global family. Nick, you did really well. Nick said, thanks Ken, while watching this, Bitcoin spiked to 22,527. Go Bitcoin! I'm thinking we will now get a pullback to 21,231. And we did. You're a legend, Nick. And many, many people said very similar things. And thank you to Crypto Turtle. Thank you, Ken. Since I am borsogging, I get to know most of my alts. Without the CTKS Masterclass, I would not be able to do that. with what I'm doing now in the Borsog market. The most important thing is mindset. Without the real wealth section of the masterclass, I would be fearful to enter on the deep red day. Fear has nothing to do with my trading now. I'm vaccinated against crypto fear. I sell on a green day and I am waiting for the next red days to come. Really good stuff, Crypto Turtle. And thank you also to Crypto Monkey. Couldn't agree more. Ken's Rules and Teaching is a license to print money. Great to see all your trades in the Discord community, Crypto Turtle. Of course, the critical thing is the teachings require a lot of patience. The masterclass is quite onerous, but transferring 30 years of information and knowledge and assuming that you don't know anything, no background knowledge whatsoever, takes time to set up, but the masterclass can do it. Many people have become very successful from the masterclass. For example, one student in the masterclass actually turned $10,000 into about $240,000 with the masterclass knowledge. I'm very proud of that student. And of course, I vetted all the trades. I saw all the proof of all the trades. And Crypto Badger had something fantastic. No need to wait to get rich to be happy. Happiness is totally free. It starts with gratitude, and this helps us see the opportunities daily and wait for them. If we miss one, we look for the next. Really brilliant, Badger. And welcome back to the Meditative Mind. has been on holidays and she's been having a blast, and we're so glad to have you back too, my friend. And thank you to Meditative for sharing. How important is it to have a positive mindset about the market? It's your number one priority as a Borsog trader. A positive, excellent mindset allows you to focus on your trading strategy and step through the process flow you have created for yourself. There's a very important word in there, yourself. You must be able to do it yourself. And the reason for this is that the signals in crypto pass so quickly that an opportunity 1 minute can be not an opportunity in the next half an hour. So it's really important that you actually get in and Borsog with coffee money. You'll learn so much. And Meditative goes on to say, you must have a plan as a trader, otherwise you will fail. If you have clearly defined processes and you do not waver from them, no matter what is happening, your consistency will pay off. Like Ken says, what will you do if price goes up, down, or sideways? Your trading plan will tell you. And a very beautiful statement here too. When you know the price moves in waves and opportunities reset daily, you see endless entries and exits, and put the power of compounding interest in your corner. Awesome, Meditative. Meditative really raises a good point. If you put $100 in and you got 2% compounded on the total amount each and every day for a year, you would have an annualized return of $138,324. That would grow your $100 into $138,424. That's the magic of compounding. That's what Meditative is talking about. And the truth is, in the crypto market, you can make a lot more than 2%. But just keeping that in mind is a really valuable thing to do. As a global family, we focus on positive excellence and maintaining real wealth foundations, such as kindness, integrity, decency, gratitude, happiness, inner and outer peace. Why do we care about these things? Because they give a life full of richness, full of meaning, full of fulfillment, and full of happiness. And ultimately, all people want to be happy. A lot of people think that the way to happiness is just to get a lot of money. Money comes with all its own problems, and it's a very unusual commodity because it's limitless. As soon as you get 1 million, you want 2. As soon as you get 2, you want 10. As soon as you get 10, you want 50. It doesn't stop. Greed doesn't stop. But happiness you can have for nothing. It just resides in your attitude. I love Crypto Badger's quote. It's just so impressive. And I thought we could talk a little bit about happiness in the comments, because success follows good fundamentals, and being happy as you're going, I think, is one of them. If you are always waiting to be happy when you get something or when you do something, you're missing out on so much life. You can be happy now. So I thought talking about happiness and how it relates to success would be a really, really good thing. I think it will help a lot of people in our beloved global family.